Okay, that was Echo Night. Sorry it took so long. A lot of things happened during the summer. For those of you just now joining and watch this through all at once, I'm sure it was really weird with the different commentaries I was doing, like, I'm sick, and then, oh, I've been working, and all this stuff. But for those of you that have kept up with me from the start of this, I appreciate your patience. Again, I do apologize. Hopefully I'm going to be back a little bit more consistent. Back to the game. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought this was going to be a stinker. I wouldn't recommend it, to be honest, just because it is... I don't know how to put it in words. That's like the worst part, is because I can't think of really many bad things about the game. It just didn't stick with me. It's just so many little things that you take for granted in other games. I'm going to turn that down. I don't know if that's too loud. I can barely hear myself, though. There's just so many other little things that you take for granted in other games, such as, I mentioned that before in the playthrough, background noise, background music. It doesn't even have to be a song. It can just be ambient noise. Anything. Just pure silence just creates an absolute unnatural atmosphere. And when it's that unnatural, it kind of removes you from the game. You just kind of feel like you're forcing yourself to go forward and forward. And those are the quickest credits ever. Holy shit. There's a lot of stuff that was just left open, and I appreciate when games just kind of leave things to your imagination. But at the same time, like, who is he? Why did he want people's souls? How are people's souls even a thing that's a commodity, you know? What are they used for? There's just so much mythos that's missing from this. And it's not a bad thing, not necessarily a good thing. It's just something there to point out, take it with a grain of salt. A lot of good things. I love the light feature. It was introduced well before Alan Wake, and it's a true light feature where if it's on, you're safe, you know, for the most part. Oh, here we go, results. I apologize. Intelligence. Oh. Superior. Oh, okay, I'll take it. That's just lip service, because those stats really don't look that much above average. Total playtime. I'm sure the playthrough's a lot longer than that. Oh, there we go. Main menu again. Yeah, we'll just leave it here. I'll just let it loop a few times. From Software, the software company that does software. God, I have ADD. And I completely lost my train of thought, too. Yeah, good things about the game. Yeah, the light. It was... it introduced the light mechanic very well. You go out into it was a ship balcony right there that we can see, and the lights are off. Little girl comes after you, it creeps the shit out of you. It has the first creepy music in the game, pretty much the first music in the game outside of this intro. And she will mess you up. She will literally grab you and telekinetically move you and throw you around like the doll that she looks like. That was really good. I think the only problem I had with it was with the light thing, is that it just became too much of a, well, get the light, first thing you do, every room. And it became kind of monotonous. It took away from the scariness of not having lights on. It just made it so you're not supposed to be in this room yet, or you are supposed to be in this room. There's only one situation when I had to grab the wire cutters that I had to go into a room with the monster with the lights off. And I think if they had that a few more times, I mean, I also don't like having to be forced, well, other than when you had to deal with, like right there, is if you had the item to deal with a monster that's in the story. But, or the ghost, I keep saying monster. But I think they could have done just like one or two more instances where you're forced to be in a room with one, or at least forced to go through the room with one chasing you or something like that. Not very many red herrings. The words in that just reminded me, the words on the bottom of the stained glass windows in that church, that was kind of red herring. I didn't know what was going on with those. They just kind of put those there. They could have done without a lot of rooms. Almost every single bathroom in this entire game was unnecessary. It just kind of threw you off thinking, do I need to explore here? And that makes sense to have so many and have like maybe one or two, maybe have a few items in it, and just so that it forces you to explore the others, but none of them did. Not one did. Not that I can think of. I'm sure you'll correct me and I'm probably wrong, which happens a lot, let's be honest. Back to more positive things about the game. The story was very unique, very interesting story. I wish it was a bit more involved though, because at the end, you really don't do anything. I mean, you stop the guy from, or your father and pretty much everyone else from using the redstone, but you figure out that's in the past anyway, so it's already happened. So really it makes you feel like everything that you did was kind of for naught. Like you really didn't achieve anything because it's already happened. I did really like that twist ending, and I did read there's multiple endings on this. There are more endings, and it's based on how many ghosts you save and other stuff you do, how long it takes you, etc. I saved every single ghost except for the ones in the casino, which apparently is the most common, and that's why I got that ending, which I believe to be the canon ending. I don't know anything about the sequels, or even if they're direct sequels or they just use the same name, Echo Knight. The second sequel was not released in America. The third is on the PlayStation 2, and it was, which I do have. No plans on playing that immediately, sorry. I got probably 80 other games that are just sitting in a pile waiting to be played for a playthrough for horror. Now the part I don't like, the negatives, although this is what everyone concentrates on, and it's the easiest part to do, unfortunately. I don't like that. That's just how people are. I guess I kind of like that there's zero combat, come to think of it. That was pretty good, actually. It made you feel more helpless. You couldn't do anything against the monsters. I've harped on the sound effects and just the aesthetics of the game. When you did see a monster, they became very... Except for the girl, she was tough, but all the others, like the woman, the guy chasing with a knife, they became extremely pattern-based and really, really easy to dodge. And the woman was just shooting out one projectile in a straight line, saying, "You can't come past this road," and that's it. That's about all I got. I'm sure I got like 9,000 different thoughts that I was wanting to say at the end of this game, but when you're on the spot and you're lazy to write stuff down, you just tend to forget. So that was Echo Knight. Thank you for watching, and see you guys in the next playthrough.